Good morning, class. Good morning, parents. I'm sorry. It's early. Usually I shoot my videos in the afternoon, so I apologize. I wanted to talk a little bit today about our testing strategy that we use for editing questions. The test that we'll end up taking this year is broken into two parts, revising and editing. Revising is basically making a paper stronger, a passage stronger, by adding things like topic sentences, supporting details, concluding statements, those kinds of things. But about 60 or 70% of the tests that the students take in fourth grade are going to be on editing, which is basically fixing things that are technically and grammatically wrong. And so we use the testing strategy, CUPS. It's a mnemonic that the kids use to remember the different things that they can use to label their answer choices in certain questions. So I'll just go through it real quick. CUPS, C stands for capitalization, and they use the mnemonic mints to remember the rules of capitalization. You guys remember the project that we did recently about mints? The results are in. Actually, we had one student who came up with 904 mints, but they use mints to remember all the rules for C, for capitalization. We're going to skip U and come back to it very last. The next one is P, punctuation. There are several different types of punctuation marks that students learn in fourth grade. Quotation marks, commas, apostrophes, periods, question marks, anything that they're expected to know in fourth grade, they could be tested on. And S is spelling, and two things come into spelling. Homophones and just general spelling words that need to be learned in fourth grade. So sight words that we're doing right now, and also spelling words with like double consonants and double vowels. So we'll go back to usage. Most questions fall into C, P, or S, but some fall into usage, and usage has a couple of different things. Irregular verbs. So what we're working on with our sight words is words that when taken from present tense to past tense, they can't just add ed. So like speak becomes spoke, it doesn't become speaked. So you can't just add ed. And then singular versus plural talks about when you have a singular verb, you have to have a noun that matches. So you can't say the boys walks. You'd have to say the boys walk or the boy walks. Those verb and noun have to agree. So if you guys will look over here, this is actually a question from the homework that is due tomorrow, and it's number 10. So before students even go look into the passage, they have to check and see if they can label each answer choice according to CUPS. So A says change asked, ed, to asked with a T. The kids would label that first spelling, because it's asking them to change the spelling of a word. After they label what it is from CUPS, they're supposed to plug it in. And what we say in class is, plug it in, and that's how they're supposed to know that they need to go back and actually put it into the sentence and see if it needs to be changed. So they're still going to go up to the sentence and they're going to change asked to asked with a T. And then they're going to think about it for a couple of seconds and they're going to think, no, I know that asked is spelled with ed. So they say, that one is not correct. B says change fight to fight, and if you notice the difference, and you might not be able to see it on the camera, but you can follow me on question 10. The second answer choice says change fight to fight, and the difference is a capital letter. This is lowercase fight, this is uppercase fight. And so they have to label it first, capitalization, and then they got to think about mints. They got to think, have we ever capitalized fight for any reason? We capitalize battles if there's a name of a battle. We would capitalize fight if it was the name of a book. So they go into the sentence and they check and see, and after they label it, they always plug it in. So they go up and they see fight is lowercase up here. They change it to uppercase fight, and they look at it. John asked the nobles to join his fight against the French. There's no reason for fight to be capitalized, so they cross out B. So we have two labeled, and we've plugged in our two answer choices, and we've proven them both wrong. So we look at C. It says insert a comma after, it says to insert a comma after French. So if we look, it says John, actually we're going to label that punctuation first. because it's asking us to insert a comma, which we know is a punctuation mark. And then we're going to go into the sentence and we're going to plug it in. John asked the nobles to join his fight against the French, comma, but the nobles refused to help. So right here we're putting a comma next to a fanboy. And earlier in the year we talked about how to combine sentences. One of the ways to do that is to use fanboys. For, and, nor, but, so, or, and yet. And so they see that they're putting a comma right next to the word but. They have to check both sides for a complete sentence. So let's do that. John asked the nobles to join his fight against the French. Complete sentence. John is the subject. He's asking them to do something. That's the verb. On this side, we have to check what happens after the word but. The nobles refuse to help. It's a complete sentence. The nobles is the subject and the refusing to help is the action. So if there is a complete sentence on both sides, they can have that comma. So they would choose C. We always label D when it says make no change, double check. Because I tell the students, you should feel guilty if you're saying that sentence is perfect. Because 9 times out of 10, they're not asking you for a perfect sentence. They're seeing if you can find the mistakes. So I will scan this homework completely labeled on both sides, the front and the back. There will not be answers circled, but you guys can work together to make sure that the students are labeling the way that they're supposed to and that they're plugging in the way they're supposed to. If you have any questions, please text or call or comment below. Thank you.